1, 2, 3, 4. Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on.
Hey, we're in a different place again.
Yeah.
Look, we just moved again.
What is up with that?
I don't know. We just keep moving.
Why are we,
It's Mike Marino and John King. Mike and John got it going on. We are in downtown Brighton. I just finished off doing some pavement work, John.
You did a very good job.
I'm a cement man now.
It's nice job. But then you put your handprints in it.
Oh, we could have done that.
Yeah. I don't think
Steve didn't want that.
Yeah, we are live at Arbol Taqueria, downtown Brighton. And we are joined by the owner of Arbol, Steve Pilon, of course, the head chef. And also we've got Tim Corrigan, the chair of the DDA board. And we're going to be talking with them here in just a few minutes about the Streetscape Project, Phase 1 coming to a conclusion. And
the street warming party, John.
Absolutely.
I've never been to a street warming party.
And in fact, we'll be talking with the street warming party entertainment.
That too.
Jill Jack.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking with her in just a little bit.
Rich Perlberg joining us later on today. We'll find out if we got a winner in last night's Thursday night trivia. All that plus local news. Happenings from this week, John, with a look at those, brought to you by Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton.
Yeah, so lots going on this week, and Gigo News having an exclusive story, of course, talking about the suspect in the Howell shooting death, who is currently jailed on home invasion and domestic violence charges. This is a gentleman named Reese Hammy. And he was the one that was arrested by Howell police last Friday. If you remember on our show last Friday, we had breaking news that there was a shooting death in Howell, and we said, stay tuned, we're going to have details. And so, police have said they're still investigating. They've not brought charges in that shooting death, but a source has told us that Mr. Hammy, who is currently jailed on a $750,000 bond, and this is for previous domestic violence and home invasion charges. And this is the person that is considered the suspect in that homicide. So we're still waiting for Howell police to officially confirm that. But again, a source close to the investigations told us that is the individual, and indeed that person is jailed on a $750,000 bond. So stay tuned for that story, of course. Just a tragic story coming out of Howell. Also in Howell, just last night we learned that a rabid bat had been identified. Livingston County Health Department saying that they did identify a rabid bat that had rabies, of course, and so this is something that they're trying to alert the public to be careful. No, there's no bats. And obviously take this seriously.
Yeah.
And so, bats are one of many different ways that people can contract rabies. And so if you go to our website, mikeandjohnpodcast.com, you'll see some links there for the Livingston County Health Department with some things to look for and things to do, more importantly, to prevent, a rabid infection. You certainly don't want that. And then another story that we've had an exclusive on, and that is the proposed gas station in Howell Township. There was a hearing set for next week that was going to consider the potential of allowing a gas station that would have been inside a wellhead protection area. Current ordinance does not allow gas stations within such areas, of course, and that's to protect groundwater. And there was an effort to do that. A member of the public and others rose up and said, this is not something we want. They started a petition drive. And indeed, the developer of that gas station has since pulled his request to put the gas station there. But the individual that we talked to, Dwayne Cox, who is leading this effort, he says, stay tuned, and they're going to be watching that, and so will we. And so those are some of the big stories we've been following. You can, of course, get all the details on those stories and more coming up on our website, mikeandjohnpodcast.com.
Keep an eye on Facebook as well. And we are live in downtown Brighton, right across the street from Cooper and Binkley Jewelers, who just sponsored our newscast. Cooper and Binkley Jewelers been a big part of our show, and of course downtown Brighton and all the happenings, which we're going to talk a little bit more about the street warming party that's coming up Next week, next Friday, I believe things get underway for that. The opening of downtown Brighton has been delayed. And Cooper and Binkley Jewelers, there to serve you during all the construction and when things reopen up again here on Main Street in downtown Brighton. Come and see them today for your holiday gifts, birthday gifts, sending kids off to school, college gifts. Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton. Now, as John mentioned, we're at Arbol here in downtown Brighton. We just witnessed sidewalk being poured, or actually it's the porch, right, Steve?
It's actually the patio.
The patio.
Yeah,
Steve
the
Pilon
patio, which is,
and Tim Corrigan joining us, as we mentioned at the top of the show, to talk about some of the things that are going on. So the patio, it looks a lot better than what you had before, that's for sure.
It looks about 1,000,000 times better. We were set up in the parking lot last time, so now we have a nice fresh concrete patio.
All right. So Tim, let's talk about the delay of things from the DDA's perspective. Where are we at?
Well, I would sit here and say that, the delay has really been pretty minor overall. We had hoped to have this part of the street open here by this past Wednesday. Unfortunately, the weather didn't cooperate with us, so that's pushing us back just into early next week. I'm optimistic by Monday, Tuesday-ish, we should be right on track with what we had intended to get done this week.
Yeah, you really don't think of a rain delay, so to speak, or a weather delay on something like this, especially right at the point where things are about to open. You might see something as construction's going on, whether it was during snow or the rain that of the season, but right before things were set to open here on Main Street. But the good news is Grand River looks a lot different now too, right near Main Street.
Absolutely. Well, the project did encompass parts of Grand River up there, and in addition to the fact that it got resurfaced this past spring as well. So that's looking sharp. We're optimistic about getting open here in another couple of days, and we're looking for hopefully smooth sailing to get the next 2 phases of our project underway.
So Steve, the projects that the project that's been going on, obviously as a business owner, you're also a member of the DDA board. As a business owner here downtown, talk about how it is that as a business owner you had to be proactive in terms of keeping customers coming in and the construction as well. And as we pointed out numerous times, I mean, plenty of parking downtown. It was just a matter of knowing where it was at and then accessing it.
Absolutely. And we use this as an opportunity, just like during COVID, how to dust off our playbook, i.e. business plan, and how can we keep bringing people in. And for us, it was like, okay, we don't have our patio, we lost some parking on the side of the building, but how else can we bring people in? And so what we do is we just try to innovate our specials, come up with something new and different that people have not seen before. So this was an opportunity. And the nice thing about this, though, is COVID, we didn't know about. This, we knew about. And so we actually knew about this last year as business owners, and we started planning properly. We watch what we order, we watch our labor, and we're getting through it. So we're very fortunate. I feel lucky.
And from a DDA perspective, Tim, let's maybe we can get you in on this. With those that say weren't prepared for this or had to shut their doors, what are you looking for in the future as far as what's going to take over those spots here in downtown Brighton?
Well, I think, first of all, I just would give a little background to say this project didn't just pop up. I mean, this started back in 2018 when Nate Geisner was city manager and helped start kick this project off. A lot of time and effort and planning went into it. There were several public meetings. All our DDA meetings are public. We had input from the merchants up and down Main Street. A lot of that revolved around even the timing of how we were going to do phases of the street. The reason why it was completely shut down, that was really a decision that was through the input of the Main Street merchants to say, hey, let's get it shut down completely so we can get done quicker rather than be disrupted longer.
Right, and some of that includes the infrastructure, and I think that's some of the part of the equation that a lot of the public isn't really aware of. They say, it's a whole new street, but there's more to it.
It's not visible. I mean, it's the part under the street that people just take for granted is there and don't really realize that is there and needed.
Well, I think the other big key point of that is this all started, knowing that we had a 100-year-old water main that needed to be replaced. So when you start down a path of that type of underground utility, it only makes sense to look at everything else that is involved to see how you can get improvements and do the things you need to do at the right time. And I can tell you, the timing really was the best it could be, and I'm glad we were able to do the things that we were able to pull together in order to finance this, get things going, and make it happen. But in reference to your direct question on a couple of the businesses that have went out, I guess I would say respectfully, there more than likely were some other issues that were happening along, with the streetscape. I'm certainly not going to say that it helped. It certainly has impacted business. Sure. But I can also tell you there is a tremendous amount of interest in downtown Brighton, our Main Street, and I'm not the least bit worried about filling those storefronts.
So, one issue that's come up, and maybe Steve, you can address this as well. One thing that has come up is the idea that the business owners, their plight in all this was not necessarily taken into account. In other words, the project had a certain cost, and you go out, you put it out to bid, you find a company that is going to give you the best bang for your buck to do this work, but that the economic effect on the downtown business owners wasn't necessarily even factored in, and that's something that is an X factor that really has to be more brought in. I mean, how do you answer, as a business owner and a member of the DDA, how do you answer that?
I think as an X factor, you have to look at during construction, X factor 1, post construction, X factor 2. And I think our bang for the buck on when this street is done, and this project is finished, we are going to be busier than we were before. As I look at neighboring communities, and I've been saying this for years, when I look at neighboring communities and I feel that they look nicer, they're more adaptable to all accessibility for ADA or whatnot, I have a problem with that. And so I was happy when I heard about this project coming to town, because now I know we have the proper platform, we have the stage to put on a really awesome event. The X factor of the now, we knew about this, so I think it's just proper planning. And I think as business owners, you have to be pivotal, particularly as entrepreneurs. You have to switch on the move.
Yeah, so I guess, taking a look at that, I mean, as Tim mentioned, there's this 100-year-old water main that has to get replaced, this infrastructure that's got to happen. And so the decision was made to make a full streetscape. You're going to rip the street up anyway.
You're going to rip it up.
So traffic's going to be blocked no matter what you do. You might as well put a new curb, gutter, and sidewalk.
You might as well. They were crumbling. I remember just walking to the corner of Grand River and Main Street just last year, and I'm walking there, I'm thinking, my gosh, this sidewalk's crumbling, the street is crumbling, this makes sense to me. And if you're going to rip the road up, why not do the whole project in one shot as opposed to ripping the road up to do the main and then 5 years later rip it up again to do everything else? It just didn't make sense. Do it all in one shot.
Steve, you had a good point. You said you think business is going to be even better and stronger once this is done and people are aware that, hey, downtown Brighton is booming again. Was there an inspiration for that? I mean, other cities that you've seen that have had to go through this, and for me, that comes to mind like Royal Oak. They've had to do a ton of work down there, and they've got people. It's a destination.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at Plymouth, downtown Plymouth. Right. Perfect example. They had their streetscape, we'll call it, years back, and look how busy it is now. It's inevitable. Downtown Brighton is just, I think it's at the beginning stages of being really, really huge and big and awesome.
If I could just step back for a second here on a comment you made about the economic impact and that there may not have been concern. I can tell you there was great concern taken to that. There were many of our meetings through the DDA and the city council and everyone involved never minimized the fact that we knew there would be some economic impact on a lot of the merchants down here, and that's why we sought a lot of input to try to do this the most effective, efficient way. We also, in a very limited budget that we have as a DDA, have put aside about $150,000 that has went into many of the things, such as the event that's going to happen next week, such as awareness, such as wayfinding, such as a shuttle service we did, many, many, many things we did that has been worked on through a subcommittee of the DDA, the Community Engagement Committee. So I just want to reiterate that no one took this lightly, and everyone was doing the best they could, understanding there's going to be some short-term pain for some long-term gain.
It's an investment.
It's
I
an
mean,
investment.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
absolutely
yeah.
an investment, and just so there's a little reference here, I'm kind of late into the game on this DDA. I came on board probably about 4 months ago, so a lot of these moving parts were already in place when I did join the DDA. But as part of the community engagement committee, there is a lot of forethought that's going into how are we bringing people downtown so the merchants and restaurants can benefit from this project.
So, Tim, you mentioned the event next week, and that is the street warming party that's going to be going on.
Yeah, what's all involved in that?
Steve,
I can
I'll
speak a
let
little bit
you-
about
yeah,
that.
okay,
Absolutely.
coming out of your committee.
It's a 2-day event. It's Friday evening and an all-day Saturday. We have Jill Jack playing on Saturday at that amphitheater, but also on Friday and Saturday we have musicians lined up and down the street. I think most of the merchants are participating in some kind of giveaway or welcoming back the community gift, so to speak. I know that some of the restaurants are doing specials. Hey, come on in, check out the new Main Street, and maybe a $5 margarita.
Right, yeah, Jill Jack, Friday, August 25th from 7 to 8:30.
There you go.
At the AMP, and then you said 2-day party, and then on Saturday as well.
Correct.
Yeah,
It's
so-
an all-day event, all up and
it's-
down Main Street.
Right, right.
Yep.
And
So with
I'm
this
sure,
opening-
I'm sure your taco window is probably going to be quite busy.
I got my fingers crossed on it. I'm pretty confident it'll be pretty busy.
No,
as
I'm
well.
letting you know, I'm going to keep it busy.
And we're setting up a margarita outside margarita station.
He's got his finger on the pulse of the taco community, John does. So now that this is, so let's just say the end of August, this is all done and things are open back up and people know they can come to downtown Brighton. Really, some of the events in the past that have happened annually here on Main Street, like Smoke and Jazz and Barbecue Blues Festival, those for this year are elsewhere, correct? And
Yes.
then next year, we're hoping to bring everything back.
Everything will be back next year.
Yeah.
Everything is hands-on. Yep.
Yeah, the art fair and everything else.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't know, I believe the art fair was driven by the chamber, and I don't know if she's bringing it back. I would assume.
I would imagine
I would assume
so.
Pam's bringing it back.
But the investment that you guys have made will pay off so that those events can come back and, be able
It
to.
should be a more efficient flow, and just to be clear too, we're getting part of the street open back up here. We still have a couple other phases that'll.
I wanted to ask you about that. So, really, this is the close of phase 1 is where we're coming at now. So if you can briefly, what's phase 2 specifically?
Well, it's the next section from here down to 2nd Street from where this closes, and
So from Heine to 2nd
correct.
Street? Yeah, okay.
And
So
that'll be the next, but we're very optimistic that those are gonna go quicker because there's not nearly the underground utility that has to be done. So we're still slating for mid-November time range to have everything done, but also bear in mind, there's still gonna be some of the aesthetics that'll come into play more in the spring with some of the planter boxes and things. We don't wanna put things out that aren't gonna survive. That doesn't make.
Make it through a winter, we
No.
really won't use them for.
So, really see, I'd say the full effect will be coming into, next spring, but certainly by mid-November, you're gonna, for the holiday season, everything, which was our goal from day one, we should be having full thoroughfare up and down Main Street.
All right.
Back for the
very
holiday
good.
glow this coming Christmas, correct?
Absolutely.
All right.
No reason that
Looking forward to
that
that.
shouldn't happen.
Right, and then, these pictures, we got a little slideshow up here on the screen right now, but this is the work that's going on right now, today, as you guys are getting ready to wrap things up. The street looks beautiful, and then once, they're pouring cement, for you, Steve, and, well, not for you, but in front of your place, but for everybody. So hopefully early next week, Monday, Tuesday, we'll see everything open up here on this first phase and then move to the second phase.
All right, before we let you guys go, I want to know, because you guys have been down here firsthand, in digging up the street, did they find anything really cool?
I have not heard of anything.
Anything that's going to end up in an art museum somewhere?
I have not heard anything real cool, and so I know we're near the end here, but I just want to make certain I want to make mention of what a spectacular job that our DPW with Marcel Gosh, our city manager, Gretchen Gromolka, and Mike Caruso, and all of the city staff, they have done yeoman's work during this project to take care of everything and everybody as efficiently as they can, and I think that that needs to be recognized, and I certainly respect them for that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. And that's coming from a business owner on Main Street. I had a question from Mike Caruso, and so I emailed him, and he didn't answer it super fast, and so I just walked over to City Hall, and he had it answered within 30 seconds. And so these guys have so much on their plate, and huge props to all of them.
Right, and then, obviously the squeaky wheel gets the grease, so to speak. So some of the critiques, if you will, that have come out social media and otherwise tend to get a lot of attention, but overall, it's just trying to get the job done, keeping your eye on the problem.
Absolutely,
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely.
All right, Steve, you open for lunch?
Taco window is open
Taco
for
window's
lunch.
open.
Yep, I think that was some beeping we heard over there.
That's what I thought.
Here's my order.
Saturday and Sunday we open dine-in
All right.
for lunch.
All right.
Yep.
Good to hear. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it. Steve, thanks for hosting us here.
Absolutely.
Throughout the
Thank you,
podcast.
thank you for having the event. here.
Absolutely. No,
Thanks for
we're
having us,
glad to be
guys.
down here,
Appreciate
and glad to see the work and that phase one getting ready to wrap up, and see most of Main Street reopens
Wait a minute.
early next week.
Tim, you said phase 2. Is there a phase 3?
That would be,
That's the planters and everything? or-
get everything done down there too.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Very good. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We've got our trivia question from last night. Trivia brought to you by our friends at Firehouse Doors. And the question, they're our OG sponsors, by the way. The question from last night read as such. If I can get it to pull up on my internet here. Unfortunately, it's moving a little slower than my fingers will let it do.
What are you doing?
The question from.
I don't want to know.
None of your business.
Actually, never mind.
All right, this is a great question, and we got some great answers. Trivia brought to you by Firehouse Stores, our OG sponsor, serving Livingston County for over 25 years with unparalleled service and products. 1 in 4 men, 1 in 4, 25% of men who have had plastic surgery done have this in common.
Oh.
And there was some. It was kind of interesting because there were some pretty smart guesses as far as, well, they're lawyers, so they can afford it. Those kind of things.
Well, now, what about the work you had done?
I'm still waiting for that to get finished. And said they were once a wrestler. Not sure where that came from. Weight loss was a great guess. Divorced. Guys kind of getting that second start.
Yeah. Although, and that's not our answer, that
No.
you're divorced, although divorce is kind of connected to our answer in a way.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, our answer would be something that would be involved in a divorce.
That's probably true. Are you thinking about something?
No, not at all. I just,
Let's see.
this is water, it's not tequila.
They either had good credit or a sizable bankroll, so they had to have money, which would tie in with our answer too.
Right.
They're all plastic surgeons. So plastic surgeons getting.
Well, you get a discount.
Hey, buddy,
you can't work on yourself.
I'll
but,
do yours if you do mine.
Wait a minute now. There was the story of that guy who did the. Trying to remember, he did the.
Facelift?
No, he did. Gosh, what am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Vasectomies on him,
Oh.
but he did a vasectomy on himself. You don't remember that?
Well, I
of
do
the-
remember a
of
guy.
the
Yeah, it was in
doctor?
one of our history lessons from years gone by. But yeah, that could be interesting.
That always stuck with me.
Yeah. Movie stars was a great answer. The correct answer
Yes.
was 1 in 4 men who had gotten plastic surgery done had this in common. They were lawyers.
And if you've seen Jeffrey Feiger's commercials, I don't want to say any more. I don't want to get.
Well, he certainly didn't
Yeah.
go to see his barber.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's our answer from last night's Thursday night
Very nice.
TNT trivia. So thank you to Firehouse Doors for their support and sponsoring our nightly trivia questions here.
Absolutely.
Mike and John got it going on.
All right, serving Livingston County for more than 25 years, Firehouse Doors. Hey, coming up next weekend, it is the end of summer back-to-school bash for the Walk to End Alzheimer's.
Yes, it is.
And this is coming up on Sunday, August 27th. And this will be at Tap Ins.
Tap ins.
Tap-ins.
Yes.
It'll be going on 11 to 5. We're going to be there from 11 to 3, and this will be your opportunity to come and sign up to join the Mike and John Got It Going On walk team for the Walk to End Alzheimer's. And for those who come by next Sunday, they'll have an opportunity to...
Free stuff?
Yeah, free stuff like, say, for instance, our custom-made Team Got It Going On Walk to End Alzheimer's T-shirts.
Yes. Let's see as many people as possible.
Right. Also, those mugs, which we gave a complimentary mug to Tim and to Steve, but we're going to have some of our Mike and John coffee mugs. And Tim even said when I handed it, he's like, "This is a good mug. This is a solid
sturdy
mug."
mug.
Yeah. So.
Old
No,
heavy
he didn't
coffee.
say. He didn't say dirt.
No, he said sturdy.
Okay.
Sturdy. It may have been a
The
little
mugs
dirty.
will be clean. I mean, you can wash them when you get home. We're not going to give you dirty mugs. I promise you.
We might.
Yeah.
They might be a little dusty.
So again, yeah, that's coming up next Sunday, August 27th at Tap-Ins in Genoa Township, the end of summer back-to-school bash for the Walk to End Alzheimer's.
All right. There's some things that are going to be going on a little differently when it comes to college football. Locally as well, when it comes to U of M and MSU in particular. They've made headlines, and Rich Perlberg with The Less You Know, we're going to find out what he knows less of.
Well, we can guess a lot of what he knows less.
Rich, of course, a U of M fan.
Right, we're more or less Spartan fans. I mean,
Hello.
more Spartan
Hey,
fans.
Rich, it's Mike and John.
Hi, Mike and John. How are you guys doing this morning?
Good. So we're talking beer and football.
Well, I'll tell you what, because I'm really devoted to the show, and I'm on my way to the location. You got me a little early. I'm going to Attorney General Dana Nestle's office. We're having a little celebration.
Well, she does know how to live it up at a football game.
Well, she knows firsthand that it'll be better to drink. She won't have to drink so much at the pregame because she can go inside Spartan
She
Stadium.
only had one or two and was tired.
Right.
That's what we were told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been tired many Saturdays myself.
Yes. So, of course, we're talking about MSU. The Spartans recently, I guess on Wednesday, I think the Board of Trustees there have given conditional approval to selling of alcohol at Spartan Stadium.
But it's only going
By
to
conditional mean if they play the games, they'll sell them. I mean, I think they got to get their permit, but no, there's no conditional about it. They're going to sell it.
So they're going to sell alcohol, and it's just going to be beer. Am I right on that? Or they're going to be over?
I don't
a good
know.
question.
I like to play with numbers, and I just don't get it. There was the governor's statement when she signed the law said that allows this. She said they're going to, or this maybe it was a Michigan State release, but they said they're going to sell. They project they'll sell 12,000 units and make $250,000 gross or something like that.
Yeah,
So I'm going to assume
that's $20 a unit.
They are not specifically saying beer. They're saying it's to sell alcohol.
Maybe there'd be like stuff like White Claw
it'll
and
be-
things of that.
Well, when's the last time you went to a bar and said, "Give me a unit"?
A unit.
That's usually in the alley behind the bar.
That's later in the. Hey, now, keep it clean. will
Well,
ya?
sorry.
I have no idea what you're talking
That's
about.
probably
Now,
best.
let me ask you this, Rich. I know you go to the U of M games. You have a place
I
where you
do.
do your tailgating and things like that. Do you think this is going to affect the tailgate parties in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, because the only reason they were drinking because there wasn't booze available in the stadium. No, it's not going to affect them at all. Come on.
Plus, you can have your fancier drinks at the tailgate party.
I mean, well, yeah, but think also about students, all right? I mean, they're going to sit there and say, I can continue to drink beer outside the stadium and cheap beer that I bought at the store, or I can wait and go in and pay $10 a beer in the stadium. What do you think they're going to do? I think this is
they're
such a
usually
joke.
going cheap.
They will do what is socially responsible to do, Rich, as all college students do.
Yeah, okay, I could tell you, I mean, I think this is a joke. I don't know why they had to do it, but I'm old enough that, well, yeah, very much so.
Money.
But I don't know why, I'm so old that I actually used to be able to take booze into the Michigan game when I went to school there. And we were underage, but nobody checked us. And do you remember Boone's Farm wine?
Yes. Unfortunately, I remember they had
It was 99
after.
cents a bottle,
Yeah.
and we'd all take it in. And at about the start of the fourth quarter, it was tradition. Everybody would pass the bottles up to the top row, and you'd see this big wave of green going up to the corner. I mean, so having alcohol. I mean, you know how bad Boone's Farm is. Amazing any of us lived through that. Much
Well,
less
MD 2020 is like the step below that, but I know what you're talking about.
But I just don't understand this big push to serve alcohol at the basketball games. Yeah, but geez, oh Pete, huh?
Are they doing it? Is it going to be a basketball team, or is it just the?
They're going to have it at all
the
games.
athletic
centers?
Yeah,
They don't want
And
to
Michigan,
discriminate.
and Michigan's coming on soon. I mean, they just haven't done it yet. But
Right. They'll be, because the Spartans are going to do, U of M's not going to walk by.
Yeah, they don't
Well,
want to
I mean,
lose
the-
people that might want to attend the school.
I think the thing that is not being talked about in this is the devastation this is going to cause to the flask industry.
Yeah.
because you want to.
You know, there wasn't that much. Although I can remember going to a
I've done that
Michigan
joke all
State.
week.
It needs more work, John. The student book center.
Yeah. You want to come back early? No, but I do recall going to a Michigan State game, and in the parking lot, the guy next to me, all of a sudden takes off his sweatshirt, and his wife is like duct taping these little small airplane bottles to his back so he can sneak them in.
Oh,
so
geez.
he won't have to do that anymore. But I just don't. You say the money. Is it really that much money?
It'll be a lot of
It'll
money.
be a lot of money,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure. I think the first maybe season or two that they implement this, people will continue their tradition, if you will, of whatever it was. But I think over time, and I don't think it'll take that much time, people will just be like, I'll just get beer there, or I'll just get a drink there.
I don't think so.
Well,
I'd be surprised. I just don't see it, and I don't. I gotta believe you that it is money. I can't see what the other motivation is, and you can listen to it.
It's money and money and money.
Well, you look at it like
the ridiculous arguments they're giving to support it. Oh well, our fans go to other stadiums, and they're kind of disappointed that they can drink at those stadiums, but not at our stadium.
well, they'll just jack the prices up like they do at Pine Knob. You'll be able to buy that 24-hour, 25-ounce beer for $25.
Well, then why would you do that, though? If you could drink it from a retail
I have an
purchase
answer.
outside the stadium, why would you spend $12 in the stadium?
But I have an answer, and this is why. I mean, I recently went to a Tiger game at Comerica Park, and I hadn't been in a while, and I thought I needed cash. But of course, the vendors in the stands, they'll swipe your card right there.
Yeah.
And
Really?
I think that's the disconnect of people of like, if somebody said to you, oh, you want this beer, that'll be $18, you're like, I'd actually hand over a $20 bill, as opposed to just going, swipe.
Yeah, they probably won't even have the prices in the snack bar at the beer stand. It'll just be swipe your card
But
and then you
thought
get your receipt.
I
and
thought
it's
the
like-
Michigan fans are smarter than that. You mean they can't figure out that they're going to have to pay for it anyway if they just
I think
use their
that's
credit
just,
card?
people in general.
If you had that pregame party going at a tailgate party, you probably don't really care by the time you get inside.
I mean,
what's the...
I don't want to claim that I'm smarter or not smarter than the Michigan fans, but I just know that I was at that Tiger game and I found out I could just swipe my card to get whatever I wanted. I mean,
Yeah, well, there is that. Why not? Yeah, buy for the whole row, huh?
well,
I'll sit in your row.
so, I guess
you know they're claiming, and I just can't buy this. They're saying they're doing this for the health of their students because they'll cut down on
that's
beer
nonsense.
fans.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
nonsense.
thank you very
Yeah.
much. Yeah,
I mean,
I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. I don't think they're going to buy that much alcohol.
we will see. I think they're going to make a lot of money on this.
You know what they'll have is they'll have competitions once U of M is selling alcohol at the games too. They'll have competitions of who sold more the year before, and there may even be a
then
trophy for that one.
Let's go this. If it's all about money, when are they going to legalize selling marijuana?
Is that, you know what, you say that jokingly, at least half jokingly, but
And maybe down the road.
the world we live in, I don't know, how long will that be?
I bet you U of M's first with that one.
Well, hey, started in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, I tell you what, there's been plenty of fall games where there's been that aroma in the air. That's part of the tradition here.
Those darn state
Oh,
fans.
another skunk? How did that happen?
I just saw though that Michigan is poised to become number 2 in the country as far as marijuana sales, legal marijuana sales, behind only California.
Well.
So
Got to be number 1 or 2
how
in
long
something.
will it be? I mean, really, if you can sell alcohol in the stands, why couldn't you sell?
I think that'll
marijuana?
be.
That'll be down. Yeah, it won't be far down the road.
I don't think that will be that far down the road. I mean, it's just, to me, it's inevitable. But that'll be a different discussion.
And then they'll make money because they'll be selling munchies.
Yeah, that does. Get your Cheetos with that.
So I've heard.
Flaming
I've
Cheetos!
heard,
Get
okay,
your
allegedly.
flaming Cheetos!
Rich,
So-
we'll keep an eye on it. We appreciate you checking in today.
Not a problem.
All
Take
right.
care, you
Have
guys.
a great
Soon.
weekend.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, JD's going to join us in a little bit with JD's Tossback Trivia. And Jill Jack, as we had mentioned, is going to be performing here in Livingston County, a couple of different
Couple
venues.
of different dates. One tonight, Friday night, and that will be in Howell. And then, as we mentioned before, next Friday night in downtown Brighton at the Amp, which is we're right next. Of course, we're coming to you live from Arbol Taqueria in downtown Brighton.
I like how you say taqueria.
Taqueria.
Very fancy.
Hello.
Hey, Jill, it's Mike and John. How you doing?
Great. How are you guys?
Good. Were your ears buzzing because we were just talking about you?
Well, no, but I was expecting it, so.
Yeah. So we were just saying you're going to be in Howell tonight,
Yes.
and
yes,
then in Brighton next Friday.
that is correct.
Yeah.
I am.
All right, so you've been back on the road. How has been performing this past summer? This summer.
It's different because last year, I was sick, and so this year I was kind of trying to take it slow. And after being off for so long, it's just magical right now. It's like every day, every gig feels like a gift. And not to sound corny, but that's truly how I feel.
No,
Right
and
now.
over the years that we've known you, and I was just kind of thinking about this the other day. Once I reached out to see if you were available today, I've seen you with like a broken foot. And then you were performing at the Howell Opera House with crutches and still made
Yeah,
the
we
performance.
decorated them with Christmas lights. Remember?
Right.
And then last year you were sick, but you still tried to get some gigs in. And this year, any ailments, anything that we got to worry about?
Well,
knock on.
no. I think the heart attack was the topper.
Yeah.
I think that with COVID and all that, I think that the universe is going to leave me alone. I'm knocking on wood. I thought about that. I was looking one day at pictures, and there was like me performing, and I had an ice pack on my shoulder. The road is tough on you when you've been doing it for over 20 some years.
Yeah.
Your body's going to take a killing. But no, it was good to take the time off, and my body was like, really? And my mind was a little like, but my vocals were so happy.
Yeah.
And so everything feels great. I feel super healthy and ready to roll. But, yeah.
Right, and you having that health scare, the heart attack, I mean, it's that's a health scare for sure. But, getting back out on stage and getting out performing, that has to be part of your recovery process.
Absolutely. Well, the first, I did have, I don't want to say stage fright, but it was like, one, I was fearful of, am I going to have the same symptoms? Because COVID had attacked my brain a little bit too, so there was all these things I had to think about. So the first show back was like, it was at my at the Arc in Ann Arbor, and I ended up putting on. Well, my physician was in the third row, so I felt safe. And I did a 3-hour show, like start to finish, never stopped, full energy, and I'm like, wow, I'm back.
And I
and
got this, right?
There was no weirdness before every show, so I was starting to do like one a month from January on to see how that would go. And no, it's just been fantastic. The first show after 3 hours, obviously the next day I was like, whoa. But now I'm just like, no, I'm good. I feel fantastic.
Well, that's great to hear.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
So you're down by the courthouse tomorrow night, or tonight actually, sorry.
Tonight,
in downtown Howell, and then next Friday here at the Amp in downtown Brighton. And tell us a little about the show. What kind of things you have some new material, or we're going to...
Yeah, well, tonight I'm excited because we're going to do a song that I had written for a documentary for Keith Famey. He was doing a documentary that was going to be on PB. I think it might have aired, or
is it the Muscle Car? Is it the Muscle Car?
The Muscle Car, yeah.
It aired yesterday. I mean, they re-aired it yesterday. And interesting story, a side story that's got a local thing. There was a couple from Livingston County, the woman who has Parkinson's. So she's part of the Rock Steady Boxing in Livingston County, which works with Parkinson's patients. And she was featured in that documentary, I know. And so it's a very cool story with some local connections, and of course, muscle cars. How can you say no to that?
Exactly. And so he had asked me to write a song for there's a section in there about like fast cars just ain't for boys anymore. And so I literally wrote a song. He had told me a little bit about it and showed me, as he always does. He just gives me like little pieces of the documentary, and then I just kind of run with it. I always write his songs in the shower. I don't know why, but that's just how it works with Keith. And he thinks I'm the weirdest human being.
Doesn't the ink run on the paper? I mean, how do you...
No, I write it in my, it starts in my head, and then I literally keep like a paper or my phone, and I just start typing all of the lyrics in, and then I get her done. But no, it was really fun, and I get to bring out my electric tonight, so excited about that.
All right.
And then I'm also going to be doing I don't know if I should say it, but it'll be fun. I've been hearing the Allman Brothers Soul Shine song. Like, it just keeps popping up. And so I asked the boys to learn it, and we did it. And I just think it's a great song to, it's a positive song about people. World can be tough, right? So this is more like, hey, we're all in this together. Like, let's let all our souls shine. And I am that kind of like optimistic, cup overflowing. And so I'd like to share that. So we're going to be doing that tonight too. So I'm really excited about both those tunes.
Yeah, very cool.
And
So
you always, with your shows, Jill, always give off a real positive vibe. You're very, very fun to watch, see, and listen to. So we
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Well, that's my goal, And what was cool about it recently is because I've been off so long, the fans have literally been coming up to me like crying and hugging me and saying how much they miss me. And it was such a good feeling because, there's that little scare when you have to cancel all those shows. You're like, will they remember me? Will they forget? You just don't know what's going to happen. So to get such a warm embrace back into the music scene is phenomenal.
yeah, and you're getting back into it because you've been having these summer shows, and as we said, tonight in Howell, concerts at the courthouse. Next Friday night, of course, they've got the street warming party, and you'll be at the Amp in Brighton. And then I know again Thursday, August 31st, you're going to be at the Michigan State Fair Mega Jam.
Wow.
Yeah, so I produced that show. I've been producing it now for this is my third year, and I get all the acts together, and then I MC it, and then I do a performance as well. It's a great show. I pull out all diverse music, so you're going to get all types of genres with really strong artists, and every year it's been phenomenal, and each year it keeps growing. So I'm really excited about that too.
Wow,
so, we're busy.
Between this weekend and next weekend and then the state fair, there's no reason why, if you want to see Jill Jack, not to see her all 3 times.
Come all 3 times and I'll give you a free T-shirt.
All right,
How's
that's a bargain.
And of course, people can find out more, JillJack.com, your website. They can go there and get all the details, of course.
Absolutely, yes. And I'm so glad to hear you guys. I love you guys so much. So I'm glad you're on the air and making it happen. So
All right,
thank you.
we appreciate it, Jill, as always. And I would say break a leg, but I don't want you to do
don't
that.
do that.
Just
Don't.
do your Jill Jack thing, all right?
I will, thank you.
All right, thanks again, Jill. Appreciate it.
Take care.
All right, you too. All right, again, Jill Jack tonight in Howell, tomorrow, or next Friday here in downtown Brighton at the Amp, and then again at the State Fair. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So very cool with that. And of course, we want to thank one of our big sponsors, Murphy's Family Auto. Of course, they do great work, and you can check them out. They're open Saturdays 8 to 1, and you get the 5% discount. Tell them Mike and John sent you. So
You need brake work, you need air conditioning, make sure your heater's ready for this upcoming winter, all those types of things. See our friends at Murphy's Family Auto, and as John said, you mentioned Mike and John sent you, they'll give you a 5% discount. And speaking of discounts, here he is, JD.
Discount?
Wow,
Yeah.
discount, JD's discount.
I thought it was
You're a
funny.
low
It was
budget.
funny you were talking about Jill Jack, and I was watching the Hot Rod thing last night, and I'm like, wait a second, I know that lady.
You know Jill too?
I recognized her,
Okay,
yes, and then
okay.
I think she did Hot Rod Lincoln on the
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all
It was
right.
good.
So, little connection there. Nice tie-in.
All right,
Yep.
JD's tossback trivia. What are we talking about? What are you and John commingled on
I see.
to
Conspiracy
Yeah.
theories.
Conspiracy theories. Cougar's won the last 2 times she's been here, so
Yeah, we kicked her off
Yeah,
today. Yeah,
that's right.
Susan couldn't make it today, by the way.
that's okay. I know we're in beautiful downtown Brighton. I can see the construction's almost done.
We're getting there.
But we're going to talk about Howell
Okay.
Okay.
and Howell Melons.
Oh,
Tonight
yeah,
is
this
Howell Melon
Melon
Festival
Fest
kicks
weekend.
off.
All right.
So, what year of Howell Melon Fest is it? This is the 59th annual, 60th annual, 61st, 63rd annual Howell Melon
Now,
Fest.
hold on a minute. Is there an asterisk on this because
Yeah,
of
'cause
COVID year?
Did COVID take one away?
Because that wouldn't be consecutive.
What is
Yeah.
on the T-shirts this year?
Okay, got it.
You go ahead and
I'm
go.
going to say 62.
You're saying 62.
Yeah.
62 wasn't a choice.
Oh, I'm going to say 61.
No, I think you got to go with your first
59,
answer,
60,
John.
61, 63.
I'm going to say 61.
61. All right.
I'm going to say 63.
It is the 63rd annual.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. So somehow this was a big deal, was about the first ever melon queen.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It
Can you ask
doesn't,
us who it was?
I didn't know who it was. It only states that she was a beautiful nurse from the area. But this is kind of what got it put on the map, because she won a trip to the White House.
Right.
I'm not saying it was the first year of the Melon Fest, but who was the president she got to meet? Was it Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, or Nixon?
I'm going to say it was
These are all
Eisenhower.
presidents.
Eisenhower.
Good old Eisenhower.
Yeah.
I think she liked Ike.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and getting the news story getting picked up on the Tribune and the LA Times is kind of what put the Howell Melon Fest on the map.
On the map nationally, yes.
Yep,
The
Lou
melon,
Grant covered that
the
one.
melon queen.
the Melon
President,
Queen.
Yes.
Yes, the Melon. No other little jokes.
Many jokes.
Many jokes. Okay, which of the following statements is true? As soon as I can get my mouse to move here. Sorry.
I hate when that happens. There, your mouse just... yeah.
Yeah, you don't need your mouse to move. You need another one. Gus Schmidt got the seeds from basically
This is the legend.
the legend.
The legend.
Did he
Gus
get the
Schmidt?
seeds from an iterate farmer
Right.
during the Depression, loved them, and the rest is history? Or did he have a taste of melon from Richardson, a guy named Richardson in Ohio, and that's where he got the seeds? The Chamber of Commerce gave out Howell Melons stickers to protect and identify the melons.
Right.
Or you can actually purchase Howell Honey Rock melon seeds online from Beck's. What's true?
Oh, I see.
I was wondering where this was going.
I'm going to say it's the stickers. They put the stickers on there to protect them. These are official Howell Melons.
So if it doesn't have that sticker, it's not.
It's just
an official
it's just a
home.
cantaloupe.
So
Once you put the sticker on it, it's now a Howell Melon.
Yeah.
seeds from some dude passing through, seeds from Ohio, stickers, or you can actually buy melon seeds online at Beck's.
I believe it's the dude passing through.
Well, that's the legend. But we'll
That's
find
the
out if
legend.
it's-
It is. It
I
is
think that's
actually.
true.
It's just a sticker.
Yeah.
It's just a sticker.
I had a feeling.
John,
Wow,
John
you
and
just
I
kind
went
of ruined the
cahoots.
legend of the melon.
Oh, I didn't ruin it. If you really want the legend of the Howell Melons ruined, ask our friend David Hayes to tell you his theory about the Howell Melons.
I don't know if we want to hear David Hayes.
No,
version
if
of
you know
that,
David and
It's
his
probably haunted or
genre,
Okay.
it's a different type of
yes,
story.
it is. What's the score, by the way? Is it 1-1?
I'm up 2-1, right?
It's two.
No, you got 60.
Because I got
63.
Eisenhower.
I got Eisenhower
And he
too.
got Eisenhower.
Oh, so it's
It's 2-2.
Oh, it's tied. Okay.
It's 2-2.
Okay.
Try to steal it.
2-2.
Stealing
Coming
the
down to
melons.
the end. So rock melons are from Australia and New Zealand.
Okay.
Cantaloupes first appear, they're of an Armenian origin. They first appear in English literature in 1739. When were the first cantaloupes introduced to the United States as a crop? Four choices: 1780, 1800, 1840, 1890. When did we start growing cantaloupes here?
Do you want me to go first?
1880.
Was that a choice?
No.
I didn't think
Was
so.
it 1880 something?
1890,
Oh, 1890.
1840.
So you're going the latest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think 1840.
1890.
Look at that.
Look at you.
Rocked it.
Yeah.
The only thing that I think was
need a
more
melon
interesting
sticker.
for me was the tiebreaker, which would have been after a worldwide search in what year was a moldy cantaloupe in Peoria, Illinois found to contain the highest yielding strain for mold for penicillin production.
Wow.
So
I
it
did not.
basically means when you get a melon and it's ripe, you got about 3 days to eat it.
That's right. It's like an avocado. You know, it's like not right, right, and now it's moldy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like,
Is there a maximum amount of seeds in a Howell melon? Just
okay.
something to research.
It's just basically a cantaloupe.
Yeah, it's a cantaloupe with a sticker
I know
on it.
that.
Sorry.
Cantaloupe with a sticker on
Sorry,
it.
I mean, you know.
And do they really use Howell Melons / cantaloupes for that ice cream they sell? Do
That they do. Actually, now, I will say,
Rumor had it that years ago they used to go to Michigan State, have it made there. Then they switched over to using Guernsey.
Right.
So is Guernsey using powder flavoring, or are they?
No, the Howell Melon ice cream, which benefits the Howell Rotary, by the way, is
Correct. Yep.
$75 a gallon.
pretty damn good. I will say that.
There is a hefty profit margin on it, but it's for a good cause.
Right.
It's the Rotary. It keeps Melon Fest stuff going.
Yes.
I will have mine tonight.
Okay, fair enough.
Melon to need it too.
I'll be handing out waters at the 1 mile mark on the 5K run.
You're not running?
I am not
No,
running.
you're the water boy.
So
Water boy.
Mike is our champion, knowing more about Howell Melons than John King.
You're the melon man.
Maybe something to brag about this
You're the
weekend.
melon man, my friend. All right. Thanks,
JD, thanks
Awesome.
for making
Thanks,
the trip
guys.
downtown to visit us. We appreciate it.
All right, lots going on this weekend, and of course, that includes the Dio Dining and Entertainment in downtown Pinckney. They are going to be having their opening night of their play Desperate Measures. That opens up tonight, Friday, August 20... No, what's today?
Today is the 18th.
18th. Thank you. I don't know, where am I? What's happening? Yes, Friday, August 18th, the Dio in downtown Pinckney. And they will be having opening night for Desperate Measures, and of course it's going to be running for quite a while there. You can check it out at the Dio Theater. DioTheater.com is where you want to go.
Do you know what it's about?
Don't you remember we had Steve on the show?
Yeah, I wasn't listening to him.
So
I was doing other things.
it's a comedy musical. I know there's a sheriff involved.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I believe somebody from the show may be joining us next week. One of the actors.
Did they really say it like that, or is that just something you did?
That's what I do.
Okay,
I'm stealing it from Lovitz. Acting. So yes, Desperate Measures opening night tonight.
For you kids out there, you can Google John Lovitz.
What are you saying?
Rumor had it he slept with Morgan Fairchild.
Who I slept with?
No, they always put on great shows at the Dio, and
do.
of course, great food to go with it. So we appreciate Steve DeBrune and all he does there at the Dio in downtown Pinckney. Do we have time to give Bonnie Runyon a call and get the last? Oh, you know what? I forgot we have the highlights in history this week.
Yeah, we got to do
See, we're on location.
this
I'm all
weekend.
messed
Yeah,
up.
that's okay. I mean, it was the free tequila we got beforehand.
We're not allowed to have tequila together anymore. All right.
That's a different story. All right.
So, this week's highlights in history. 1848.
I feel like we need the highlights in history.
1848, the dental chair was patented by Waldo Hanchett. M. Waldo Hanchett.
Oh, wow.
The dental chair. You know, the one where you could look up at that light, kind of like our lights here. That's in your face. And
Well,
you're going,
except the dental light has it's like
three
reflected
parts,
or whatever,
yeah.
so it's not shining right in your face like these are.
In 1926, a weather map was televised for the first time.
Ooh.
You know, and the
Right.
weather
You gotta
person
be-
had to point the
Got
opposite direction
The front coming in.
over there through the back door.
Sure.
1960, a couple of things happened on this week. In 1960, the first oral contraceptive was issued.
Hey now. Sorry.
So can you imagine how that went? Yeah, if you take this, you won't get pregnant.
Oh,
Okay.
We know how
Guys-
it went. The 1960s followed.
Yes, they did.
That's what happened.
Also in the 1960s, 1960 this week, in a major turning point in the musical industry, the Beatles played their first night at the Indra Club in Hamburg.
Oh.
The owner, whose name was Bruno, by the way, asked the Beatles to really put on a show, which led to the band screaming, shouting, leaping about the stage, and sometimes playing while they lied on the floor.
Wow.
John Lennon once appeared wearing only his underwear, and on another occasion, just a toilet seat around his neck. Did you know the Beatles were that crazy?
In Hamburg.
1960 in Hamburg they were.
In Hamburg, I did. Their time in Hamburg was like our time at that REM concert
Let's not go there.
that we're not allowed to do.
And finally this week, 1977, Elvis Presley left the building. And that It's our highlights in history.
The big building.
The big building. He left Graceland.
Yeah. Oh, Ginger. Help me, Ginger.
Who's Ginger?
That was his girlfriend at the time.
Oh, was it a girlfriend?
Yeah.
I didn't know Ginger was there.
Yeah. Well, when he fell off the toilet.
She heard a thunk.
Yeah.
And up the stairs. You know.
That's a thump. Hello?
What are we thumping?
Hey, Bonnie. It's time for the last word on this week's show. Have you been thinking all week?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay. Lay it on us.
And I have been blessed over and over and over. My word today is listen. It will pay you how many times in your life if you will shut your mouth and listen.
Oh.
Well, at least you said it nicely. Shut your mouth and listen. Not shut up and listen. All right, so listen is the last word.
Yes, sir. Listen.
All right. We will be listening, and we're glad we were listening for you, Bonnie.
Well, thank you, and I have to tell you, I don't get you all the time on my phone, and I was able to, so I heard most of it, but then I turned it off so I could get your call.
Okay. Oh, well, we're glad you did that.
Yeah.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you, Bonnie. Have a great week.
Have a great week.
Hey,
We'll talk to you
all
next Friday.
Fun. You all have fun. I mean, it sounds like you're going 100 miles an hour.
Well, we got to slow down.
Yeah, I've always said if you see me running, there's either a tsunami or there's a serial killer after me.
And it's still not 100 miles an hour.
Even then, it's going to be...
I hear you guys.
All right, Bonnie. Take care. We'll talk to you next week.
You bet.
All right.
You bet.
Great
Thanks a lot, Bonnie.
And the last word for this week.
All right. Well, we want to thank, of course, Steve Pilon, a host here, allowing us here at Arbol Taqueria in downtown Brighton. Tim Corrigan, of course, from the DDA for joining us.
Absolutely. Jill Jack, JD, Rich Perlberg, and, of course, the great Bonnie Runyon. So we'll do it again next week. We'll be back at our regular location in our home offices.
Oh, yeah.
The Remax
At
Platinum Building.
the Dilbert Cubicle Studios. We'll be back.
Second level.
Yeah. All right. Have a great week.
Giggling with Mike and John. Tune in next time and giggle on.